I'm going to show you how to make an adult version of the Portuguese classic Bifana Porto style. I'll add some balance to the flavor, reducing the intensity of the tomato in the sauce, adding to it layers of delicious umami. And as a bonus, I will show you how to easily cook the bread we're gonna use to serve the dish today. Ready for it? Let's cook. I'll be using pork loin today, the perfect piece for this food. And look at this pristine white fat on top of it. Gorgeous. We need to slice it thinly, and that is a tricky business. So I'll bag it and place it on the freezer for a couple of hours, just until it starts getting hard. I just want it to get firm. The jokes just write themselves, don't they? On a more serious note, make sure it's not totally frozen or you won't be able to slice anything from it. Because this is delicate work, I like to use a cut safety glove and cover it with a rubber glove for hygiene purposes. If you don't have one, just make sure your knife is well sharpened and be very careful. Then I'll slice it as thin as possible till I get all the meat cutted. See how having it in the freezer helps to maintain its shape? And when you finish, add a small pinch of salt on all the meat and set it aside. If you happen to have at home a ham slicer, you can also use it to get the thin slices. I don't, and for me, this method works every time. Time to start our dough. And this is my recipe for dough from the chorizo bread. I told you it was versatile. I'll get all the liquids together in a jug. I'll add the water, milk, olive oil, sugar, and the yeast. Give it a quick mix and let it sit for 10 minutes to activate the yeast. I'll peel and cut the potatoes in small cubes for fast cooking. This will add a smoother texture. In a pan with hot boiling water, I will cook them until fork tender. And when done, I'll drain them, and with the help of a spoon, I'll pass them to a strainer to get them really silky. In our mixer bowl, I'll add the flour and the salt, and I'll start mixing on low speed. I'll add the potatoes in, and looking back on our yeast, it's alive! Ready to use. Slowly add the liquid into the mix and let everything come together for a couple of minutes. When everything is mixed, I will increase the speed and let it mix for 10 minutes on high or until the dough is not sticking and has a smooth look to it. Cover the bowl and let it rise for 2 hours or grow a little more than double. And while the dough is proofing, let's begin our sauce. I'm using a nice large pan. You want to have depth in your pan today or pot because we're gonna have a lot of sauce. Turn the heat on and add the olive oil and the lard. When nice and hot, I'll put it on medium heat and add garlic powder and onion powder, tomato paste and sugar, and give it a little mix. Cayenne pepper and red pepper paste. And this red pepper paste is my homemade version of it. You can check the recipe already on the channel. If you don't want to make it, you can use store-bought. It's absolutely fine. The dish will still be delicious, I promise. Just not as good. Let everything cook for a minute and add a pinch of salt. I'll add the Worcester sauce, the white wine, and the beer. And both chicken and vegetable stocks. They are both store-bought stocks. And to finish, I'll add the whiskey. Now, I'll bring it to a boil and let it simmer for a couple of hours to bring it all together and reduce by a third. And why do all these sauces take so long? Because the long cooking time is what brings all the flavors together and really pump the flavor up. When people say complex flavors, it was mostly built from a slow process. And while it builds complexity, oh, fancy wording now. Let's check on our dough that is ready to be placed on the counter and sliced into 9 pieces. Just roll them up into a ball, creating a little pressure on the exterior by pulling the outside down to the bottom. I like to do a little cross cut right on the top to make it prettier. When all of this is done, I'll place them in an oiled baking tray and cover them to do the final proofing for 30 to 60 minutes max. Preheat your oven to 180 Celsius or 375 Fahrenheit, and when hot, place the tray into the oven, more on the lower end of your oven. Spray some cold water onto the bread and the bottom of your oven and close the door immediately. Let it cook for 20 to 30 minutes until nice and golden on the top. Here is more of a preference. I like my bread always on the brown side, but can always tap the bread to see if it's cooked. If it sounds hollow, it's cooked. And mine are perfect. Remove them and place them on a wire rack to cool down. Our sauce has finally reduced and it's time to adjust salt levels. Taste and add until you reach the perfect taste for you. Mine is just delicious. Just a small pinch of salt and perfect. Wow! And now I'll add the meat in slice by slice, keeping it in a very low heat. Close the lid and let it cook for 20 to 30 minutes until the meat is nice and soft. The cooking time will obviously depend on how thick you have your pork. Mine is around 2 millimeters, so 20 to 30 minutes will be more than enough. But don't be afraid of letting it sit longer. The longer the meat sits in the sauce, the more flavor it will get. Our meat is almost ready, let's prepare to serve. Slice the bread, leaving a hinge. Pick as much or as little meat from the pot as you want. Don't be shy here and bring some of that sauce in to soak the bread. And you can be imaginative with this sandwich. Add a slice of cheese, maybe some ham, or even a fried egg. Why not? It is up to you how crazy you feel in the moment. But now, time to taste. Time to taste this beauty. Mmm. Wow. Really good. You can't go wrong. The bread is soft, delicious. Meat is juicy, flavorful. And the microphone died. I'll have to do some voiceover. Apologies for that. I blame the sound guy. Me. I'm sure here I'm trying to convey how delicious this sandwich was. And it was delicious. Delicious it was. Oh, I remember this part. This is where I tell you that this video on the corner here is really amazing. It actually is delicious. Go and see it for yourself. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.